Hey guys, before we start, make sure you wait until the end of the video to find out who won the lightsaber giveaway. Our story begins on Utapau, where Commander Cody receives a message.
Commander Cody, the time has come. Execute Order 66.
It will be done, my lord.
As Obi Wan runs up the mountain atop his creature, Cody signals to the clones to blast Obi Wan and kill him. They aim their blasters and fire directly, hitting Obi Wan in the body, killing him instantly. This would change the timeline immensely, with Obi Wan Kenobi dead.
Good job, boys. We got him. What do we do now?
As the scene shifts to Coruscant, we see Palpatine in his office.
Good work, Commander. The death of Kenobi will bring order to the galaxy. Regroup and begin your return to Coruscant. I have sent Lord Vader to stop all droid productions immediately.
With Obi-Wan's death, Anakin would have stormed the Jedi Temple and slaughtered the Jedi Knights. The effectiveness of Order 66 would stay completely the same, except Obi-Wan was killed as well. Where the first major change would occur would be on Mustafar when Padme and Anakin meet. Padme would immediately feel a shift in Anakin's emotions. There was an aura of darkness that surrounded him. She tried to speak reasoning to him, but it wouldn't work. He had fallen completely to the dark side.
My love, together we will bring peace to the galaxy and ensure our children can grow up safe. We can finally be a true family and not have to hide away anymore. It was the treacherous Jedi that stole that dream from us. But now we don't have to live under restrictions and rules.
Anakin's words spread deep in Padme's soul. She was now considering it. If she said yes, their family would be safe and they could grow up loving each other. She questioned what happened at the Jedi Temple and how he killed children, but he manipulated the situation, saying that the Jedi tried to assassinate the Chancellor.
Stop, Padme. The Jedi were trying to take power in the Republic, painting the Chancellor as a bad man. But it was Palpatine who saved me and has taught me the powers to save you.
Padme looked up at Anakin, who was staring into her eyes. Padme wiped the tears from her eyes and agreed to live her life with Anakin. She smiled at him and even laughed a bit, but deep down she was terrified. What had her husband turned into? She couldn't understand the full extent to his darkness at this point, and she still saw the light within him. This was the best thing for her kids, she thought. She wasn't doing it for herself, but for her children. They would always be safe and never under threat. She asked Anakin what will happen next.
Let's go back to Coruscant. My master will have new tasks for me to complete. And you need to get to bed. I can sense our children are almost ready to be born.
Anakin and Padme fly back to Coruscant. A few days later, Padme would give birth to twins who they named Luke and Leia. Padme would survive the birth, just as Palpatine promised she would under his teachings. Things became a lot better for Anakin. He had his family and the Jedi were finally gone. Still, at this point, he wasn't strong enough to defeat Palpatine in combat. He would need to train harder and learn the ways to the dark side. Even Palpatine knew he wasn't powerful enough yet, but in time, he would grow far stronger. Anakin enters Palpatine's office.
Lord Vader. I hear Padme's pregnancy went according to plan.
Yes, my master. She didn't suffer or die like the visions I had. I will train Luke and Leia in the ways of the dark side. They will grow up to become powerful entities.
Palpatine smirked. He knew with Anakin as his apprentice and him having children, the Skywalker bloodline would be strong. He only hated that it was with Padme. She wasn't a Force user. If he mixed his blood with a Force user, then his children would grow up to become even more powerful. Maybe even more powerful than Anakin himself. It would take Anakin 5 years before he decided to challenge Palpatine for the throne. He trained relentlessly, but so did Palpatine. They were arguably the two strongest Force users to ever walk the galaxy. In these 5 years, Anakin would learn how to use Force lightning and choke people to the best of his ability. He grew extremely powerful and had finally surpassed Palpatine in strength. For 5 years, Palpatine had attempted to eliminate Padme to further provoke Anakin, but nothing came close to succeeding. Anakin grew so powerful in the Force that he could foresee people's thoughts. If someone was going to eliminate him or a loved one, he would see them thinking before they had even thought it themselves. This allowed him to kill any assassin that Palpatine sent for him. But Palpatine was able to use his high Force power to cloud his thoughts after realizing the power that Anakin possessed. Anakin burst into Palpatine's office after hours to find him still there. Anakin carried 2 glasses and then a large bottle of champagne.
What is the occasion, my apprentice?
My darling Padme has told me she is pregnant. I'm having another child.
Anakin was ecstatic. His one weakness was his family, but it was also his strength as it gave him the most power in the world. As Palpatine pours a glass, he raises it into the air.
Here's to another child full of the dark side of the Force.
As Anakin laughed at his master's apprentice, Palpatine took a gulp of the drink before slamming it on the ground. Before Anakin placed the liquid in his mouth, he paused, dropping the glass and letting it shatter on the floor. He reached for his belt and unclicked his lightsaber before igniting the crimson red blade.
For years you have tormented me, tried to kill my wife, but today you will die, my master.
Palpatine looked up. His vision was blurred, but he could still use the Force to control his movements. He called on his lightsaber and ignited it, leaping forward and striking at Anakin. He knew he had a giant disadvantage now. His eyes remained shut, with jolts of pain blocking any attempt at vision.
You think you can defeat me? My abilities in the dark side are far greater than yours, boy!
As their lightsabers clashed, sparks flew around the room. Anakin had mastered multiple forms of lightsaber combat at this point, and was switching between them simultaneously. Anakin leaped backwards, and raised his hand in the air before blasting lightning at Palpatine, who was able to block it. Jumping back forward and engaging with Palpatine, Anakin was able to use his strength to gain the upper hand. Using all of his dark side energy, he knocked Palpatine to the ground and destroyed his lightsaber, before using the dark side to pull Palpatine's body towards him and stab him through the abdomen. Palpatine stared out the window, taking his final breaths. Anakin sat down next to him.
Look at your empire, master. Look at what you created. I will set you to rest knowing that no one will ever overthrow me. Not my children, not some other great Force power. No one. This is the future.
Palpatine struggled for breath.
I have taught you well.
Palpatine took his final breath and died. The Skywalkers would ascend to the top of the galaxy. Anakin would continue to grow and become even more powerful. After a short while, he would reach his full potential in the Force, making him the strongest being to ever live. He could use the Force to do extraordinary things, such as summon objects from across the world and choke people on different planets. His power would grow so far beyond reality that he could conjure Force lightning out of anything other than his hands. Luke and Leia would grow extremely powerful, being taught in the ways of the Force like their father. Anakin was cruel and relentless, which he taught his kids as well, teaching him in a similar style to how Palpatine taught him, so that he could stay as far away from Obi Wan's style as possible. Leia would grow the most powerful out of both of them. Her strength and abilities in the Force would be greater than Luke's, making her a true prodigy. But she didn't have the same eagerness to commit dark deeds like Anakin had. This made Luke Anakin's favorite. This desire to commit atrocities across the galaxy made him a fierce apprentice and terrifying opponent for anyone. Padme would give birth to 3 more kids in her life. The first was a male who they named Sheev after Anakin's master. The next was a daughter called Jabal, who they named after Padme's mother. And finally Jinn, after Anakin's first teacher, Qui-Gon. Together, the 5 children of Skywalker grew to be the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Although at the beginning Padme hated who Anakin had become, she learned to love it. Her mindset on the world completely changed after years of being surrounded by total darkness, and before long she had turned to the dark side. No one dared to touch the Skywalker family for the rest of time. Anakin learnt the secrets to immortality and abolished the rule of two. He became the father of the Force and controlled everything. No one could ever lay a hand on him. 4 of his children each took a corner of the galaxy, whilst Luke stayed in the center of Coruscant to help rule with his father. The Skywalker dynasty would grow to become the most powerful and feared bloodline in the history of the galaxy. Each child would discover love and have children of their own, multiplying the Skywalker name. For over 10 millennia, the Skywalkers would rule with no hope of them ever being destroyed. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Now the moment you have all been waiting for. I would like to thank everyone who entered the lightsaber giveaway. It's been a lot of fun seeing all of your comments. The winner of the Calcaster's lightsaber is Hampsty1. Congratulations mate, and check your email as we will contact you there. Also, what would you guys like to see us give away next? Please comment your thoughts below. I know it got a bit wild at the end there with the Skywalkers, but I believe if Obi Wan was killed in Order 66, then this is what would happen. Anakin would never burn on Mustafar, which means his limbs are still intact, so he would eventually overthrow Palpatine and become the ruler of the galaxy. I thought they would most likely have more kids, but would just thrive in their power and never give it up. With Anakin learning the secrets to immortality, something Palpatine came so close to doing, the Skywalkers would live together. Or would Padme die? Would immortality be something only Force users could do? Honestly, I'm not too sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you.